This is the radical farmer here at Organic Farm 7, and I'm so happy. I'm sure some of you haven't seen me doing a video where I'm present. So what I want to share with you today is one of the most critical component of agriculture. You see, there are different components in agriculture, but there are some which are more critical than the other. So the other components can wait, while others cannot wait. So what I'm trying to say today, I want to talk about irrigation. I'm sure you are able to see this is irrigation. So we're talking about water supply. So you have to learn how to maneuver around and play around with irrigation so that you should be able to solve the problems in agriculture. Number one, you have to make sure that when you're buying land, you buy land in a place where there is a steady water table. It's very possible to buy land, but without water in that place, you're not going to use it productively apart from maybe land-fed crops. So you should buy land in a place where the water table is extremely very low. I remember when I just started, I did 2 dry boreholes in one location where I bought land and I couldn't use it, so I had to move on to the other side of that piece of land. So the first thing that you have to invest in when you're starting agriculture is water. So before you even think of buying land, think of water. Does that piece of land have water? So when you have secured land, I've seen some people whereby they buy land and water becomes the last thing. They build a house using the neighbor's water. Then when it is time to drill their own borehole, you find that they've invested more money in constructing a house, but when they come to drill a borehole, they find they don't have water, or if they have water, there is less water. So water should be the first thing, and it is going to guide where you're going to put these other components of these other components on your farm. You may find that maybe you've built a house where there is more water, then you've got these other pieces where there is less water. So always drill a borehole before you even think of constructing a house. So then after that, you have to secure the issue on how you're going to be pumping that water. How are you going to be pumping that water? And right now, what I can advise, like me, I've been using solar irrigation for 2 years, and I can assure you that it is good. There are some people who haven't even used solar and they say no, it is not good, because they don't even have an experience with it. Like as in for me, for the past 2 years, I've been using solar on a daily basis at home and also for pumping water, and I can assure you it is always it is safe. So there are companies that I work with in terms of maybe acquiring reliable equipment for solar. So that is very, very important, and solar is very, very good, and you can actually do agriculture without Zesco. Gensets, I wouldn't recommend gensets because of the expense. Right now, as things change, so should you also change. So after finding out how you're going to be pumping water, wherever the water is coming from, maybe from the stream, or maybe from the well, or maybe from the borehole. So you have to moving into irrigation. Many of us have planted things, and those things have ended up dying. And I'm also one of the victims. When I just came to the farm, I planted quite a lot of trees. That was during rain season. There is that excitement that we get during rain season to plant things. Then we don't think about how they're going to survive when the rains are gone. And many of the times, those plants, they end up being eaten up. Maybe it's by animals because we haven't fenced, and fencing is also one of the most critical things. So then after that, maybe they're not well watered. So the best thing you should understand is when you are starting a project, you have to understand it from the start to the end. You look at the cost effectiveness and how much money you need to run it from start to end. I know of people who buy, maybe they're into broiler chickens. They start with the chickens. Then what happens is that before even the chickens are ready for sale, the feed is finished and they don't know where to find the feed. So that is as a result of poor planning and poor preparation. So we have to make sure that we prepare for everything. And these are lessons that I've learned the hard way. So if you want to learn the hard way, you continue, but you get to realize that there is a way you can avoid certain mistakes. Then the other thing is on the issue of I talked about the issue of irrigation. Irrigation is critical and very, very important. Like you see these grapes that I have, if I had irrigation from the onset, I could have had these fruits last year. There are some people that I sowed grapes. Actually, their grapes were even doing more better than mine because they didn't have irrigation in place. But I had a passion for growing them. So as we plan to do big things, we should also put the critical components in place. No matter how expensive irrigation is, I can advise you invest in irrigation. We have been doing it gradually, but right now we've got irrigation on the biggest part of the farm. We've drilled enough water. So on the water component, we are set, and we are very happy about it because you can see the results that we are getting. It's green like almost everywhere where we've planted because we have got water supply throughout the year. So there is more that I can say, but for now I'm going to end here. I would advise you to put first things first before you even think of growing, before you even think of expanding, and always start with the resources that you have. Some of us have got a problem and a tendency of complaining, no, I want funding to start. You will never start because it is not just about the money. Yes, we need money, but the thing is that you have to get started with what you have. With the little resources that you have, start small, start where you are, and from there grow on. Don't start with what you don't have. Don't complain about what you don't have, and as well, don't always wait for someone to help you. That's when you can get started. When those people are not there, then meaning you cannot do anything. So my advice to you is make sure that you do the right thing, start well, work hard, put in your very best. So this was the Radical Farmer, and making organic farming super easy.